creating real world object in programming world. Today we are trying to learn the last programming element. Okay, answer this question first. I created a class called example, any class. This class contains static variable with assignment 10. Then this class example first time loaded, second time loaded, third time loaded, any number of times loaded. Every time it is loaded, a memory created with value 0, replace with value 10. Again loaded. Again loaded means again memory created with 0, 10. Again loaded. Again a variable memory created with value 0, replace with 10. So we have fixed the value for a variable. Always same value is storing when class is loaded into JV. So this program is what program? Static value program. This program is what program? Then what is the right design? Class example, I must write static int a variable must be initialized with runtime value. Okay, to initialize the runtime value, what statement I have to write here? I should write some logic, right? I should write some logic. In a variable assignment, can I write logic? No. Then I need what, where I can write logic. If you read methods chapter, last folder contains different types of logics. We have two types of logics: initialization logic, number 2, business logic. Initialization logic must execute only one time. Business logic must execute multiple times, every time when we call. Okay, initialization logic must be executed one time automatically by JVM. When initialization logic belongs to what? Static variable and non-static variable. Static variable initialization logic must be executed when static variable memory provided. Next, non-static variable initialization logic also should be executed when non-static variable memory is provided. When static variable memory provided, when class is loaded. When class is loaded. When non-static variable memory provided, when object is created. Keep this point in the mind and tell me, I wanted to write initialization logic for executing one time automatically by JVM. Where I should write? There are 3 places available: static block, non-static block, constructor. Static block for static variable initialization logic, non-static block on constructor for non-static variable initialization logic. That means when class is loaded into JVM, automatically static block is executed. When object is created, automatically non-static block and constructor is executed. So now tell me, I want initialize the static variable with the runtime value when class loaded into JVM. Where I should write that logic? Can I write logic in the variable assignment? No. Can I write logic inside static method, which you know already? No. If I write logic inside static method, now this method executed when class loaded into JVM? No. It is executed only when we call. I want something that should be executed automatically by JVM. That person is what? Static block. So now observe now how to write the code. Class, some name, example, open bracket. I am taking it as a private static int a semicolon, and I should write what? Static block, static open bracket, and here I am writing A equal to IO dot integer dot parseint of integer dot parseint of IO dot read ln of double quotes, enter a value. Enter a value, Java 25 style of program. Then what happened here? I can write a message, system dot out dot println double quotes, static variable is initialized. Now, what is the use of static block? Static block is used for initializing static variable and executing some logic when class is loaded into JVM. Then what is the use of static method? How can I differentiate static block to static method? Static block doesn't have return type, doesn't have name. Static method has return type, it has method set x of set a of int a. Now tell me, here what is right? Class name example dot a equal to a. What is the purpose of static setter method? It is for initializing or setting new value. Next, I have static return type is what? Int get a. What is the purpose of this method? For returning the existing a value. And I am writing one more method, static void display. Previously we took display method as a non-static method. Now I am taking as a static method because it is displaying static variable. System dot out dot println a. Now this method is meant for printing static variable value. Now these methods are static methods are meant for not initializing. Static methods are meant for taking the existing value available in the static variable and perform the operations. That operation can be setting operation, or can be getting operation, or can be business operation, printing operation, or any other operation. So what is this? This is static block. What all these are? Static methods. Write down, please. Take heading. Static block. Static block. First point. Static block, first point. A nameless block. A nameless block. A nameless block that is created. A nameless block that is created inside a class. Inside a class. Outside method. Outside method. With the keyword static. With the keyword static in its declaration. With the keyword static in its declaration is called static block. Is called static block. Second point, why static block? A static block is used for executing some logic and initializing static variable. A static block is used for executing some logic and initializing static variable only once at the time of class loading into JV. Only once at the time of class loading into JV. Only once at the time of class loading into JV. Inside static block, wait. Static block declaration. Static block declaration in bracket head. Static block declaration in bracket head should contain only static keyword. Only static keyword, comma, inside body. Inside body, we can place all statements which are allowed inside static method. We can place all statements which are allowed inside static method. Except return semicolon and return value semicolon. Except return semicolon and return value semicolon. Okay, now why return semicolon not allowed? Why return semicolon not allowed inside static? Return semicolon enduku allow avadu? Return semicolon, do you know return semicolon? What is, where it is allowed, what is the use of it? In which topic you have learned this return semicolon, return value semicolon? Where did you learn? Okay, where did I teach? You didn't learn, at least can you remember where did I teach? Where? Method chapter. Which method? Tetragetter method. I taught in which topic? Void, non-void methods. Void, non-void methods topic we have discussed. Return semicolon, return value semicolon. Void method can return value. Non-void method must return value. I want to just terminate the method and return control to calling method. Terminate the method, return control to calling method. What should I use? Return semicolon. I want to terminate method, return control to calling method with value. Then return value semicolon. Tell me. Can you terminate the static block? Are you calling static block? If you are calling static block, control should come to your calling place. Right? Static block is calling by whom? Who calls static block? Who executes static block? JVM, right? Automatically without any your involvement. Without you involving, static block is automatically called by JVM. Okay. Then my question is, because JVM calling static block, because of your losses somewhere return semicolon if you write, control return to JVM. Then your class loading fully completed or not completed? In the middle, if control return out of the static block, class loading completed fully? No. Static variables fully initialized? No. This class is fully initialized and ready class or half initialized class? Half initialized. Then this class is useful or useless? Useless. So return semicolon, return keyword is meant for terminating the block execution. inside static block, you cannot write any statement that is terminating the execution. Understood? Static block must execute till last closed bracket. In the middle, it should not be terminated. Any statement that terminating the static block not allowed inside static block. So static block should complete normally. So tell me what is the rules in creating static block? Rule number 1, in the header portion, in the declaration, in the prototype, only static keyword must be there. Second, in the body, all statements which are allowed inside static method are allowed inside static block, but only return semicolon, return value semicolon not allowed. Continuation right on. Because what you have written? Except the return semicolon and return value semicolon, because return keyword terminates, return keyword terminates block execution. Terminates block execution, comma, static block must be completed or static block must complete normally till last line. Static block must complete normally till last line. Static block must complete normally till last line. For example, okay, or static block creation statement, for example, right, as I'm saying, class example, class space example, open bracket, static inside class, static open bracket, static open bracket, inside static block, dash, 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 close static block, close class. Place entire class in one box, static block in one box, arrow mark to the static block, SB. Inside static block, you have written dash, dash, dash now. What is the dash, dash, dash logic is called? Side you write, SV initialization logic. SV means static variable initialization logic. Down, fourth. A static block is automatically executed by JVM when class is loaded into JVM. Static block is automatically executed by JVM when class is loaded into JVM. Next point. A class can contain multiple static blocks. A class can contain multiple static blocks. Comma, all static blocks are automatically executed by JVM. All static blocks are automatically executed by JVM in the order they defined from top to bottom. In the order they defined from top to bottom in the class. In the order they defined from top to bottom in the class. Everyone again think and tell me when a class is loaded into JVM. Sorry. When static block is executed. Okay. When a class is loaded into JVM, static block is executed when class is loaded into JVM. Presently, class is available where? In hard disk. For execution purpose, class has to be loaded into JVM. When a class is loaded into JVM. A class loaded into JVM in 8 cases. In 8 different cases, the class is loaded into JVM. What are the different ways we can load class into JVM? In 8 ways. Among the 8 ways, 4 ways you have already learned. Number 1, by using Java command. Number 2, by accessing static variable in another class. Number 3, by accessing static method from another class. Number 4, by creating object of the class from another class. Okay, by using Java command. When the class is loaded by using Java command, you are expecting which member to execute? Main method. Main method. For main method execution, for static variable value reading, for static method logic execution, for constructor execution in object creation purpose, class is loaded. However, class is loaded, the first step is what now? Static variable memory created with default value. Then static block is executed, initialize static variable, and then next the invoked memory is executed. It may be a static variable, it may be a main method, or static variable, or can be a static method, or can be a object creation statement. So when a class is loaded into JVM, what is the order of execution of the static block? First static variable, then static block. One static block or all static blocks are? All static blocks. And then either main method or static variable or static method or object creation constructor. So always static variable, static blocks are executed in the order first static variable and then what? Static block. Clearer, right? I will write a programs on the 6th point. You must able to find correct answer. Okay. So carefully listen. Tomorrow we are going to work on these programs. Okay. Today only focusing on static block, non-static block concept. So tomorrow I will write combination program. All the members combination, you must able to identify what is the output of the program. So when a class is loaded into JVM, the particular member executed, before that always static variable, static block executed, right? The order of static variable memory allocation, comma, static block and main method is the order of, sorry, what you written? Once again, correct. The order of execution of static variable memory, static block, main method is step 1, down the right. First, all static variables, first memory is allocated to all static variables with default values. Memory is allocated to all static variables with the default values. Second step, with the default values. Second step, all static blocks logic executed. All static blocks logic executed. Third, then main method or other invoked member. Main method or other invoked and accessed. Other invoked member. Either SV reading, SV and static variable reading. SV reading or SM and static method or constructor or executed. So remember, when you create object, before constructor, what is executed? Static block. Okay. When you access static method, before static method execution, what is executed? Static block. Without static block execution, class is not ready. Okay. Without static block execution, class is not ready. Suppose if I call static method 10 times, then static block executed 10 times or only one time? Only one time. Suppose if I create objects 10 times, then static block execute 10 times or one time? One time. Static block has a chance to execute only one time. Okay, write down 7th point. If we access static variable or static method or constructor multiple times, if we access static variable or static method or constructor multiple times, comma, static block is executed only one time, just before the first accessed member execution. Just before the first accessed member execution. This is the complete knowledge about theory points about static block. What is static block? Why static block? Sample static block. How many static blocks? What their execution order? Okay. Execution of static block in combination with the static variable, main method and static method constructor. How many times static block is executed? These are all the theory points you have to remember. Okay. Right. Next, 8th point. Develop a program. Develop a program to initialize static variable by reading value from keyboard. Please stop. I'm repeating question again, a small correction. Initialize a static variable at the time of class loading into JV. Initialize static variable. Develop a program to initialize static variable at the time of class loading into JVM by reading value from keyboard. Okay, class loading I forgot. Full stop, continuation. Also allow user to set get and print static variable value. To set get and print static variable value. Okay. Write on this program. Completed? How to develop user class for it? How to develop user class? User class and the main method required, na? Uh, okay, right. Class test. Can I create in static block also? Inside class test also static block? Yeah. System dot outer print double quotes. Class test is loaded. Write down. Public static void main string array args. I'm covering all points in a single program. I just call method example dot display. Next, write system dot outer double quotes test main method. Then I call Then I just called example dot display. I didn't do anything, just I called display. All people follow the above given nodes. Tell me the output. According to given nodes, read once again. Tell me the output of this program. First you try, next I will try. Just follow notes. These are two Java files, okay? This is example.java and this is test.java. These are the two examples files, two Java files. Which class you compile, which class you execute, what is the output? Mention that. Which class you compile, which class you execute, then what is the output? Please prepare. Take 2 minutes time. Think. Flow of execution. Read dictated 8 points notes. Apply those 8 points here. Find answer. Don't show your talent. Don't use your brain. Your brain is empty. You are here to store information in your brain based on the given notes. Tell me what is the flow? Which class you compile? Test.java. Automatically, example class also compile. Which class we execute? Test. Tell me, what is the flow of execution in the Java test? First, JVM will go to which class? Test class. Either don't say sir, don't say not understood. It's just a flow and tell me what I said. When a class is loaded into JVM, what happened? Static variables and static blocks are executed. First, static variable. Inside this static variable available? No. Then directly go to static block. What is the first statement will be coming? Class test is loaded. Then after static block execution completed, control goes out. After static block, the invoked member is executed. Java command invokes which member? Main method. Then it will go to main method. Everyone understand why main method executed? Because Java command calls main method. Then what is the message displayed? Test main method. Then after that, control come here. Here you are accessing two members, example, then example.display. Everybody is ignoring example, only considering display. Go to display and then what is the A value? 0. This is a wrong statement. Okay, before display, what is there? Example is there. So understood? When the class name is first appeared, what I told in the 7th point, when a class is loaded into JVM in several stages, 8 different ways. In that, it will be loaded by Java command, load by static variable accessing, load by main method static method calling. Test class is loading because of Java command. Example class is loading because of display method calling, Then either anyways you try to load the class first inside the class before executing main method and the invoked member, first class is loaded. Bolo, static variable memory created with value 0. I call display method, sir, why a variable? All the members of this class may internally access static variable or not? Yeah. So if static variable memory not available, how can I access? That's why whichever the memory you call, first static variable memory allocate, following by for initializing static variable, static block is executed. A integer dot parseInt of readline, enter a value. You entered a value, say 15. Then that value read by readln method, give to parseInt, parseInt converted to 15 and stored in A. Inside A, 0 replaced with value 15. Then control go to next line, SOPLN, SV is initialized. Okay, here message printed, enter A value, colon, you entered 15. After that, message coming, SV is initialized. After static block execution completed, control come back to main method. This is very important. What is the meaning of example? Access example. To access example meaning what? Load the class, allocate memory to static variable, execute static block, initialize static variable, make this class ready to execute. Then now dot example executed, dot display, example dot display executed. Now control will go to display method. Now in display method, what is written? SOPLN A. A value reading from memory. What is A 15? That 15 is displayed on A value read from memory and give it to SOPL. Then SOPLN printing it on console. So static block initializer value available after static block execution because the value is stored in the static variable. So this is the flow of execution. Step number one, test class is loaded. Step number two, static block execute. Step number three, main method execute. Step number four, class is loaded. Class is loaded. Example class is loaded. Example class is loaded. Step number five, static variable memory created with the default value 0. Step number six, static block is executed, read the value, store value. Step number seven, store the value inside static variable initialization completed. Step number eight, it will go back to the main method. In main method, now the remaining part, display method is called step number 9. Step number 9, display method is called step number 9. And then step number 10, display method logic executed. It will read a value from a static variable. And step number 11, return that value to SOPL. Then step number 12, SOPL and display that value. And finally, control will go back to main method. After display method execution completed, control will go to main method. So this is step number 13. Main method execution completed, class execution completed, control come out with the out. So this is the flow. So I have explained 2 points in the single program, static block and main method execution. First static block, then main method. Second, static variable, static block and static method execution flow. First, static variable memory, then static block, then the called static method executed. Here, setter method, getter methods are not executed because we didn't call them. Everyone understood? Paka? Written arrow marks. Step number. Online students, any doubts? No doubt, sir. I will share many practice examples on static block today night. Now only, okay, after class completed. Tonight or tomorrow, if you are interested, practice them. Otherwise, ignore them. When you fail in interview, don't ask me. Now, what is the purpose of static block? It is meant for initializing static variable. Okay, also used for executing some logic when class is loaded into JVM. Now I am taking non-static variable. Try to think. Private into I have two now. These two variables must be initialized when a new object is created. Now, if I assign the value directly here, stored in all objects, I don't want to be like that. So x variable, y variable, when a new memory created, I want to initialize. For that, what concept to use? Constructor, public no param constructor, x equal to 10, y equal to 20. X equal to 10, y equal to, I want read y value from the, okay, y equal to, right, x equal to IO integer dot parseInt of, what do you write? IO dot read ln of double quotes, enter x value. I want read value dynamically from the keyboard. And also y value I want read because it's a no param constructor. I cannot read from the other programmer, only from keyboard. Again, repeat same statement. Integer dot parseInt of IO dot read ln of double quotes, enter y value. Enter y value. Then here you write system dot out dot println of double quotes. no param constructor is executed, comma, non-static variables are initialized. Constructor is meant for initializing non-static variables and executing some logic when object is created. Look at there. These two lines are what? Initializing non-static variable. This is what? Executing some logic when new object is created. Tell me, inside a class, am I allowed to create only one constructor or multiple constructors? Multiple constructors. I can create multiple constructors. Now I'm writing another constructor I'm writing called example with int y. What do you understand with this constructor? Tell me. By seeing this constructor, what did you understand? This constructor created for initializing only y variable, not x. Then how to initialize x? X equal to io dot parse int of io dot read ln of double quotes, enter x value. I want to initialize x variable always by reading value from the keyboard. Then y variable, this dot y equal to y, either from the user or from the keyboard. Because user passing the y variable, I want to initialize with y, but x always want read from the keyboard. And then void display of open bracket system dot out dot println of x plus double quotes plus y, close display method, close class. This is the program I have written. Everyone tell me, by looking at this program, is there any code redundancy? Is there any code redundancy? Same code ni repeat chesana. Code redundancy means what? Same code repeated. Which code? X variable initialization logic repeated in 2 times. Constructor having okay. Tell me, what is this logic? This is code redundancy. Same logic repeated 2 times. And tell me, is it a good idea, bad idea? When you define multiple constructors inside the class, in another way, when you overload constructors in the class, same logic is repeated in all constructors. Same logic is repeated in all constructors. Don't write the logic again and again in the constructor. Rather, write in a special concept called what? What? Static block. If I write static block, how can I access non-static variable in the static block? Static block can accept object. No. The non-static variable can access. No. What? Static block opposite. Non-static block. Open bracket, close it. So what do you have to create? Non-static block. Static block meant for initializing static variable. Non-static block meant for initializing non-static variable. Move this. Okay, move this common logic into this non-static block. Move this common logic into this non-static block. How many times I have to move? 2 times or 1 time? 1 time. What I write? X equal to integer dot, sorry, that is not io dot, sorry, integer dot parse int of io dot parse int of check io dot read ln of double quotes, enter x value, system dot out dot println. What is executed? Non-static block is executed. X, non-static variable x is initialized. Okay. Now tell me, By seeing this program, you can able to easily answer all questions. Question number 1. What is non-static block? This is non-static block. What is non-static block? Same definition of static block. What is the definition of static block you have written? Read, open notes. A nameless block that is created inside a class outside method without static keyword in its declaration is called what? Non-static block. Write down. Take it. Non-static block. Point number 1. A nameless block, comma, just open bracket, closed bracket. A nameless block, just open bracket, closed bracket. Placed inside class, placed inside class, outside, placed inside class, comma, outside methods, without static keyword in its declaration. Without static keyword in its declaration is called non-static block. Is called non-static block. Second point. A non-static block is used for initializing non-static variables, initializing non-static variables and executing non-static block, executing non-static block. Hey. Today my brain is fully in a drowsy mode. Okay, sorry, I did some mistake. Do it again. Non-static, it is used for initializing non-static variable and executing some logic. Non-static block, why not execute non-static block? Right? For executing some logic, for executing some logic common to all constructors, common to all constructors, common to all constructors, only once, common to all constructors, only once, for every new object creation, for every new object creation. Here only once means for all objects once, one object once, one object one time. Display method is executed for one object one time, as many times as you call. As many times as you call. E1 dot display, E1 dot display, E1 dot display, n number of times you call, n number of times executed. Now non-static block for E1 object, how many times executed? One time. Constructor executed how many times for E1 object? One time. Non-static variable memory allocated for E1 object how many times? One time. For E1 object, non-static variable memory allocated one time, then non-static block on constructor executed for E1 object one time. Now, from one class, how many objects we can create? Multiple. If I create second object, what happens? Again, non-static variable memory allocated. For initializing non-static variable, non-static block and constructor are executed again. 10 objects I created. How many times non-static block executed? 10 times. Okay, na? Listen carefully. I created 10 objects. How many times no param constructor is executed? Think and tell me. I created 10 objects. How many times no param constructor is executed? When constructor is executed, automatically executed or only when we call? When? Object creation time. Now think one step ahead, think. I created 10 objects. Then how many times no param constructor is executed? 10 times. Okay. How many times int param constructor is executed? I have created 10 objects. How many times no param constructor executed? How many times int param constructor is executed? Can you decide? Can you confirm? Or it depending on the calling? Depending on calling or automatically you can say na? No. If somebody say I created 10 objects, how many times non-static variables memory allocated? 10 times. Because it's mandatory, every object non-static variable memory created. Next, how many times non-static block executed? అరే ఇప్పుడే కదా నోట్స్ రాశారు మళ్ళీ నన్ను చూస్తారేంట్రా మీరేంట్రా బాబు ఎంత గజనీస్ 1 second గజనీస్ జస్ట్ నౌ యు హావ్ రిటన్ non-static block is executed common to all constructors. Means any constructor you call, any constructor executed, non-static block is executed or not? Either first constructor or second constructor. Non-static block must be right. This program below program explains. Question I don't trouble you by asking questions, don't worry. Right. Below program explains. I don't know whether you don't know answer, you are not trying for answer, or you are getting fear to answer. For last 15 days, I am trying to take answers out of your mouth. But you are very silent, sitting silently and looking at me only. 2 to 3 times clues I am giving also, you are not trying. After my explanation completed, notes dictation, program explanation, arrow marks written, I am asking question. Still you are not open up your mouth. So finally, who is losing? See, now also no answer. Thank you. Right. Online students also very quiet. Goodbyes. Right. Below program explains creating non-static block. Creating non-static block, comma, initializing non-static variable, common to all constructors. Common to all constructors. Write down this program as it is. Completed? Now tell me, in this program, we have non-static variable, non-static block and constructor non-static method. First point answer. Answer. If you don't answer, I cannot continue asking questions. Okay, you will get frustrated, I'll get irritated. Try to answer. You know answer, I know. You know answer that I know, but you are not answering. I don't know the reason. Is a non-static method automatically executed or we must call? Okay. Is a constructor automatically executed? We must call. Okay. Is a non-static variable memory allocated, non-static blocks are executed automatically when object is created or explicit call? Explicitly, should I call XY variable to allocate memory? Should I call non-static block to execute? No. Automatically they are executed. But when class loaded, object created. Object created. Okay. When class loaded, non-static members are not executed. Now try to answer now. I'm going to create main method. Okay. First you understand code, execution, then you can write. Tell me, first point, non-static members are executed only when we create object. Just by loading the class, non-static members are not executed. Class test, open bracket, public, static void, main of string array, args. Inside, I am creating example E1 equal to new example. Bolo. Did I call any member in this line? Call chesana cheyaleda. ఎంతసేపు అటు ఇటు చూస్తా కూర్చుంటారు ఆందన. How long you will look at my face and make the screen? Did I call any member in this line? That is the question I asked. Did I call any member from the class example? No? I didn't call any member. What is this? Constructor definition or constructor calling? Again I'm asking, did I call any member from class example? Yes. What member? Which constructor? Non-parameterized constructor. Then in this object creation, what members are executed? Tell me. First. First. In this object creation, what members are executed? Class is loaded. Without loading class, nothing execute. Next. Next. Static variable, static blocks are executed. Next. New object is created. Next. Non-static variables memory allocated with the default values. Next. After new keyword execution completed, next what is executed? Constructor. Which constructor? Control will go to no param constructor. Inside no param constructor, what is the first line? Y equal to integer dot parseInt of enter y value. That integer dot parseInt, x equal to integer dot parseInt not available here. You strike mark already. Okay, this is a common code you have removed and placed inside non-static block. Now my question is, first constructor logic executed or non-static block logic executed? Guess. New keyword called no param constructor. Control comes into no param constructor, and in no param constructor, first step what happened? This keyword memory created with reference 1010, and then constructor logic executed or non-static block logic executed? Non-static block logic executed. Why? Non-static block contain the logic common to all constructors, na? Then first what logic should execute? Specific logic or common logic? Non-static block contain common logic. So first common logic executed, and then it will come back. Then it will come back to the constructor. Then constructor specific logic execute. Understand? So tell me here what is the flow? First class is loaded. Then static variable, static blocks executed. New object is created. New keyword create new object with non-static variables memory with default value. And then after new object created, now for initializing new object, no param constructor is called. First control go into no param constructor. Inside, what is first executed? Non-static block, and then no param constructor logic is executed. First non-static block logic and no param constructor logic. So repeating once again, when we create object of a class, okay, first step always class is loaded. Just now you have written point, 7th point. When you load the class by using Java command, by calling static variable, or by calling static method, or by calling constructor, always first step class is loaded, and then static variable, static blocks executed, and then the invoked member executed. Here who is the invoked member? Object creation. Okay, before that what happened? Class is loaded, static variable, static block executed. Now answer my question. I am writing one more object I am creating. Is it possible to create object like this? Example E2 equal to new example of I am writing 5. Tell me here what am I doing? I am creating another new object. Another new object by calling int param constructor. By calling, this is a calling ra, ఇది calling. ఇది మీరు పిలుస్తున్నారు దీన్ని, okay? By calling int param constructor. Here by calling no param constructor. Here by calling int param constructor. Now tell me, when you create object by calling int param constructor, is no param constructor is executed? No. Is a non-static block executed? Yes, sir. Is a non-static variable memory allocated? Yes or no? Na? Yes, sir. Is class loaded again? Is class loaded again? అలా చూడకండి రా, చెప్పండి రా, ఎస్సా నో ఏదో ఒకటి చెప్పండి రా. క్లాస్ లోడెడా, నాట్ లోడెడా? స్పీక్ లౌడర్. వై స్లోలీ? ఏం రైట్ ఓ రాంగ్, ఇప్పుడు ఏం చెప్పాలో ఏంటో. How many times class loaded into JVM? One time. Already loaded, na? Then again loaded or not loaded? Static variable, static blocks, memory allocated, executed how many times? One time when class loaded. Already static variable, memory allocated, static block executed. Are they again memory allocated, executed? No. And tell me, when second object is created, what happened here? Directly, another new object is created with a non-static variables memory with a default value. And then which constructor is called? Int param constructor is called below. Is a non-static block again executed? Yes. And tell me what is the control flow? Control will go to no param constructor, sorry, int param constructor. Here 2 parameters memory created. What? This with 2020 and y variable with 5. Y variable with 5. And then constructor logic. This is a constructor logic. Sorry, one more statement I missed. Right? Please write down. System.out.println int param constructor is executed, comma, non-static variables are initialized. These two lines, constructor logic. First constructor logic executed or non-static block executed? Non-static block. After non-static block execution completed, control come back to constructor, then constructor logic is executed. Understood? So again here, non-static block comma int param constructor is executed. So how many times class loaded into JVM? One time. When first time member access, which member access? No param constructor. Now by seeing this diagram, can you please answer once again? I'll try to ask the questions. First time here entered X value 10 store. And reader, then control here go, enter the Y value you're entering what? 20. Then 0 replace with 20. Okay. Now E1 variable pointing. This is E1. Now E2, another new object is created with reference 2020. X variable, Y variable memory created again with a 0, 0. Now control, okay, comes to no int param to non-static block. Inside non-static block, you are enter the value, again asking enter X value. X value you are entering 12. And then 0 replace with a 12. Then control go to int param. Int param constructor, what written? This dot y equal to y. What is the y value passed? 5. Then what is stored here? 5. Okay, na? And then control will go back to the main. I am asking questions. Try to answer by seeing the diagrams. If I create 10 objects, 10 times non-static variables memory allocated. Yes, sir. Lastly, yes, no, chappand, okay, na? If I create 10 objects by using any constructor available in the class, is non-static block executed 10 times? Doubt, yes, sir. If I create 10 objects from the class, is no param constructor execute 10 times? No, depending on calling. If you call no param constructor 10 times for 10 objects creation, no param constructor executed 10 times. Okay, na? Next. Is every constructor available in the class executed for every new object creation? Is every constructor available in the class executed for new object creation? No, only called constructor is executed. Other constructors are not executed. You create object by using any constructor. You create object by calling any constructor. Non-static variable memory allocation, non-static block executed every time. Understood? Paka? La karenge? Who creates memory to non-static variables? Who creates memory to the non-static variables? JVM. Dangam pani paatledu inka. Any question asked, JVM is answer. JVM responsible only for static members. Who creates memory to the non-static variables? Object. Okay, who creates object? Then who provides memory to non-static variables? New keyword. Ninne ఒక్క రోజు గ్యాప్ లోనే అన్ని మర్చిపోయారేంట్రా? కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ చాప్టర్ ఐ క్లియర్లీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్. మీ జీవితం రాసుకో రైట్. మిమ్మల్ని క్వశ్చన్ నాకు భయం వేస్తుంది ఫస్ట్. ఐఎమ్ గెటింగ్ అఫ్రైడ్ ఆఫ్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ క్వశ్చన్. You are Mari too much becoming day by day, you are becoming 1 minute Gajini. As not 1 minute, 1 second Gajini. Just like that, 1 point complete, next point, this is completed. Khatam, leaving from the brain. No practice. Yesterday I sent one message in the afternoon or evening, I didn't remember. In chat, in a Google Classroom, I sent message. I uploaded extra material, please practice. Did you see that message? When you will find the free time to practice? Sunday busy, okay. Monday what you did? మోర్ బిజీయా? జీవితంలో మెటీరియల్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయరు. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5, Step 6, Step 7, Step 8, Step 9. I will share material, detailed explanation, more practice examples, every program type in your system. Okay, before you asking the JVM to find output, you yourself find output. Simple SOPLNs, not more than that. Very small bujju programs, simple SOPLNs. Every program write notes, type in system. In your notes, find output. After you finding output, run the program. See your output, JVM output, same or not. You should have that zeal of finding output of the given program. Then only you will pass interviews. In interview, they don't ask write a program. They will ask, what is the output of the given program? When you can find the output of the given program, the belief of the company is you are strong in concept, strong in finding syntax, strong in finding execution flow with memory diagrams. When you are ignoring finding output of the given program with laziness, then obviously you will fail in the interview. Your 11 o'clock batch students, again I am motivating you by saying about your juniors. 11 o'clock batch juniors, today they learn 40 operators in 1 hour. 40 operators, every operator based program. I will share that video today. Maybe you are feeling that I am, maybe I am saying wrong. Huh? I will share that video tonight in your Google Classroom. Watch that video. Stop today reading these notes today. Today night, watch that video. Try to get some motivation. So they answer like anything, cheetahs like, fat, they will give an answer. They don't allow me to ask the question second time. First time a question completing and they are ready with answer. Okay. The type of, aggressiveness is required for success. And slowly sitting, watching, yeah, master, I don't. It's not good. So change, no problem. Try. Last one is what? Non-static block, int-param constructor. Here. This is non-static block and IPC, int-param constructor. తెలుసా కోర్ జావా నేను చెప్పేది మీ మొత్తం నేర్చుకోవాలి అంటే పాయింట్ బై పాయింట్ యూ షుడ్ హ్యావ్ నంబర్ 1 పేషెన్సీ యూ షుడ్ గివ్ మీ టైమ్ ఆఫ్ మినిమం 8 months. 8 months time if you give me, then interview questions also I can cover. Okay na? And whatever the assignment programs I am giving, if you want me to cover core Java syllabus will go up to 8 months minimum. That much time, that much patience, that much energy levels you don't have. That's why main concept I am explaining the class and I am sharing entry questions in your Google Classroom. You must study those questions. Otherwise, you 100% fail in the interview. I'm not saying 1%, 100% you will fail. With this knowledge, what I am sharing in the class, you got knowledge. But the entry questions I am sharing, if you practice, you will get experience and you'll pass in the interview. Okay? Beyond the class, more practice you have to do in your study hour. That's why every day I'm saying 9 to 10, I will be available, utilize my services. But no one sending any messages. No one is studying, simply ignoring. Okay, we completed static block and non-static block. Okay, final conclusion, tell me. Static block is used for, uh, static block is used for initializing static variable and executing some logic only once when class is loaded into behavior. Non-static block is used for initializing non-static variable and executing some logic common to all constructors only once every time when new object is created. Okay, write down the summary. Done? Please practice these points by heart. Remember, tomorrow we will try to develop a project including all points, all topics. Okay, today I will upload. Yesterday already uploaded one file which contain all programming elements. Today again I will upload that file along with these two topics material, practice examples, interview questions. I will also upload that file. Please by heart that file tomorrow before you come to the class. As I requested you, 6:15. Don't come before 6:15. If you come by 6:15, it's okay. Come by 6 o'clock and do revision. 6:15 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Today I'm stopping because topic completed. Okay, 6:15 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Tomorrow I will take class complete 2 hours. Complete 2 hours class will be there. Okay. So this is our class time. In the demo class, somewhere I have mentioned this point also. Up to 8:15 I may take because I know in future I need to extend the beginning time. So 6:15 to 8:15 p.m. you have to attend the class. And 2 points I'm telling. Number one, today I will share operators video link to your Google Classroom. Operators. Okay, mathematics only, not more than that. And its notes also I'll upload. Okay, last half an hour in the video I dictated notes. You no need to follow that last half an hour, only up to explanation. When I ask just write down notes, just ignore it because already I will upload the same material to your Google Classroom. Compulsory today night watch this video and tomorrow morning read the static block, non-static, not variable, this is non-static block. I've written variable, check. Non-static block, non-static, correct, NSB. Tomorrow, you read static block, non-static block, 2 PDFs I'll upload. The 2 PDFs, notes, programs, you type in the note, write in the notes, draw the memory execution flow steps, check in the system, you got the same answer or not. So typing more time taking. In PDF, copy paste. A delay selection mode will be there, right? Select the program, paste in your edit plus, save it, compile, execute. That's it. Don't do smart work, don't do hard work. Clear? So please complete these 2 topics. Tomorrow onwards, of course, today onwards, class timing is 6:15 to 8:50. 2 hours. Okay? And class will be 1 hour, 50 minutes will run. Duration is 2 hours, but will be run for 1 hour, 50 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes late here, depending on the traffic I am returning. And based on the topic completed, maybe 5 minutes early I may stop. Thank you. See you tomorrow.